Welcome to Molecular Science. Today I have taken a topic cancer metabolism. So we'll discuss about what is the difference between cancer metabolism, that is a metabolism which is occurring in a tumor cell and a normal cell. Here we'll start with the term metabolic reprogramming. Now, what is metabolic reprogramming? Now, the principle of metabolic reprogramming is the altered metabolism in cancer cell relative to normal cells. So, the altered metabolism from cancer to normal cell, which helps it to support the growth and acquisition to the disease, as well as maintaining the malignant property. So this is about metabolic reprogramming. That is, this is a altered metabolism which a tumor or a cancer cell show relative to normal cell, which helps it to support growth and as well as maintaining the malignant property. Now let us see what is the important. Now these metabolic reprogramming, they are important hallmark of cancers. Now before we start with the metabolic reprogramming, let me discuss about certain aspects of metabolism. We know that metabolism has two components. So we all know it is catabolism and anabolism. What is catabolism? Catabolism is breakdown of complex molecule into a simple form with the release of energy. What is anabolism? Anabolism is building up a macromolecule from a simple form which acts as a storage of energy. Here I have taken one example. Now here we can see the macromolecules like protein, polysaccharides and lipids. Now all of them, once they undergo catabolism, which is also called as a convergence reaction, it converges to a single or a common product, which is acetyl-CoA. Now the protein also undergo degradation, or it also gets simplified to acetyl-CoA, polysaccharide also, as well as lipids also. Now during this, after the formation of acetyl-CoA, it enters into Krebs cycle and undergo oxidative phosphorylation to release ATP. As well as there is a formation of water molecules and carbon dioxide, which is a one carbon compound. Now this occurs oxidative phosphorylation in the presence of oxygen. So this is a brief idea about the metabolism. Here we can see if we talk about the anabolic process, now the building up, now from a simple form we can see there is a building of a macromolecules like proteins, polysaccharide and lipids with utilizing ATP. So every step we can see there is utilization of ATP. Now let us talk about proteins. Now proteins, first they degrade or they get simplified into amino acid. For this we need a utilization of energy, and the energy source is here ATP. So there is a degradation of ATP. Amino acids further gets converted into acetyl-CoA. Some of them enter into the form ammonia, and some of the amino acid directly enter into Krebs cycle. The next one, polysaccharides. The polysaccharides, they first degrade into a hexose or a pentose sugar. For this process they need energy, and energy source is ATP. Next is after hexose or a pentose sugar, they undergo further catabolic process to form a pyruvate. We have a lactate also in the glycolysis. So this pyruvate further gets converted into acetyl-CoA, and this acetyl-CoA again enters into the Krebs cycle. The next one is lipids. Lipids, they get converted into fatty acids and glycerol, and they again enter into Krebs cycle through the help of acetyl-CoA. So this is, we have seen that this is the way the complex molecules are getting degraded. Similarly, the formation of the the complex molecules takes place from a single precursor molecules or a simple precursor to form the complex molecules like a protein, polysaccharides and lipids. Now for the catabolism, once it enters into Krebs cycle, here it enters into the electron transport chain, and in the presence of oxygen we have the presence release of the ATP, which is the stored form of energy. So this is overall the anabolism and catabolism. Now what is the difference between, or what are the steps a cancer cell takes to maintain the metabolism? In normal cell, this is a highly regulated process. So based on the requirement of the cell decides and enter into either a catabolic process or anabolic process. But a cancer cell, it make a point that it enters into the anabolic process when the nutrient is in a surplus amount, the high amount of nutrient is there, so it enters into the anabolic process and synthesizes the complex molecules which act as a energy storage. If the nutrient is depleted, if there is, because the cancer cells divide at a very high rate and the nutrient supply is depleted, so during that process they enter into the process of catabolism, and during this, for the survival, they catabolizes the stored form of energy in the form of the complex molecules like protein, polysaccharides and lipids, and they undergo survival process, and here we have the release of ATP also. The last one is maintaining redox hemostasis, that is redox balance or redox hemostasis. The redox balance or redox hemostasis is, now for the metabolic process, during this there is always, it occurs between, it is oxidation and reduction process. During this process there is a generation of the free radicals, like we have generation of reactive nitrogen species, we have generation of reactive oxygen species, and we have free radicals. These radicals or these electrophiles, they are neutralized by the system. So cancer cell, they takes the step to maintain the balance of the redox or a hemostatic balance, because that is very important for the survival of the cell. So these are three important processes they take care. Now we'll see about two different process, that is metabolic reprogramming and oncometabolite. These two, they look similar, but there is a difference here. Metabolic reprogramming is, this is an altered metabolic process where we can see the enhancement or suppression of one of the metabolite or the processes to maintain or to survive the stress condition. So cancer cells, they rewire the metabolism, during which we can see there is an increase in the level of certain metabolites, there is a decrease in level of certain metabolites, but rewiring is done to survival and for the growth and proliferation. But oncometabolite is, here in this, there is a we can say accumulation of one specific metabolite. Now why this accumulation occurs is because some of the cancer cells, they show there is a change in or there is a mutation in the enzyme. So once the enzyme get mutated, there is accumulation of the product start. So that these are called as oncometabolites, and these are act as a markers. The presence of oncometabolites, they act as a biomarkers. Let us discuss about glycolysis, that is the metabolism of glucose, catabolism of glucose. Now we'll see a situation where whenever the cells require energy source, so this one is a glucose enter into the cell, it forms glucose 6-phosphate, and then it's further metabolites, it forms a pyruvate which enter into a Krebs cycle. This is your Krebs cycle, that is TCA or Krebs cycle. And from this we have the generation, it enters into the electron transport chain, and here we have the synthesis of ATP. Here we have a synthesis of ATP. Now during this process, we will see Like some of the metabolites enter into the other pathways, like glucose 6 phosphate enters into HMP shunt, which is the source of reducing equivalent NADPH. This also enters into the electron transport chain, or it acts as a reducing equivalent and further any of the metabolic reaction. The second one is a 3-phosphoglycerate. This enters into the cell metabolism, where you have a synthesis of one carbon metabolites, and one of the example is the methylation. We require the methylation for the most of the during the metabolism, even for a DNA methylation we require this methylation. Even we require it for the one carbon compound in the synthesis of the nucleotide biosynthesis. Now all these processes are regulated by one of the important regulator is mTOR, that is mammalian target of rapamycin. So this aberrant activation of mTOR, which is seen in most of the cancers, shows a high anabolic growth. That is, this high anabolic growth means the glycolytic there is increase in a glycolytic flux. The rate of glycolysis increases because from glycolysis the metabolites they shifted or they enter into the synthesis of the biosynthesis of the nucleotide. We have the biosynthesis of the lipids components like acetyl CoA. It enters into the lipid the synthesis of the lipid. Succinyl CoA, which is one of the intermediate part of the TCA. The TCA enters into the heme biosynthesis. We have the oxaloacetates, which enter into the synthesis of certain amino acids. So, and this is acid citrate, which forms acetyl CoA, and this is involved in a lipid biosynthesis. We have the synthesis of pyruvate. Now, pyruvate is used to synthesize oxaloacetic acid. Along with this, the glycolysis, it can enter into, it can form pyruvate and enter into the TCA. Or based on the requirement of energy, based on the cell type, how the cell, the glycolytic the process of glycolysis increases, there is enters into the synthesizes lactic acid. Further, the growth factors, the importance of growth factor. Now, usually in the normal cells, once we have a presence of any of the growth factor, it binds to the receptor tyrosine kinase, which activates PI3K, that is phosphorodidylinositol 3 kinase, RAS and MYC. They increases the rate of glycolysis. So this is occurring in a normal cells, which is highly regulated by P53. But in most of the cancer cell, we find that is around 50% of the cancer cell, we find there is a deletion in P53 genes. So here this regulation is lost. So once P53 regulation is lost, the cell starts to undergo, that is there is a high rate of glycolysis. So again we can see that why so this is one of the reason why we have the high increase of the glycolysis in the tumor cells or cancer cells. The other regulator is that is AKT. Here again we can see once we have a binding of growth factor PI3K, AKT is activated, which is regulating mTOR. So already we have seen that mTOR aberrant expression can lead to the anabolic process. Usually in tumor or cancer cells, the anabolic processes are very high. They synthesizes high amount of protein, lipids, and the carbohydrates, the polysaccharide, because they are multiplying at higher rate. Now, for the new cell to form, for the formation of a new structure, they require these important macromolecules. That is, they require these complex molecules. So for this, they try to maintain the balance by reprogramming or rewiring the system, the whole metabolic system. So overall, the rate of anabolism is high over here in cancer or a tumor cell. Now, if we see here, the intake of amino acid, that is essential amino acid into the cell increases, which increases the protein synthesis. So there is increase in the protein synthesis, there is increase in the lipid biosynthesis, there is increase in the nucleotide synthesis. So this is the and here we can see during the TC, if we talk about Krebs cycle, here also we see that there we can find a process of anaplerotic reaction. So we know what is anaplerotic reaction. Anaplerotic reaction is, so whenever a cell requires one specific component, it there is a deficiency in one of the component over here, it try to manage it by taking the help of the metabolites. Like suppose here if a cell requires glutamate, here the alpha ketogluteric acid, which is from the TCA from the Krebs cycle, in presence of alanine gets converted into the glutamate plus pyruvate. Similarly, oxaloacetate and alanine form aspartate and pyruvate. So these are for the amino acids. Here we can see there is a formation of two amino acids. Similarly, pyruvate in presence of carbon dioxide can form oxaloacetate. So these are the anaphylactic reaction where a cell try to manage or balance the metabolic concentration of the metabolites here. So in cancer cell, the anaphylactic reactions are very high because these amino acids are required for the synthesis for the complex molecules or the any other metabolic reaction. Now, if we talk about this high Krebs cycle, so once we think we have seen in the just we have seen before, after Krebs cycle it enters into the ETC, electron transport chain, and during this electron transport chain there is a change in the there is a generation of a reactive oxygen species. These reactive oxygen species activates HIF, that is hypoxia inducing factor. Now reactive oxygen species activate HIF. Now this HIF, the presence of HIF also increases the overall rate of glycolysis. So this we have seen why in a cancer cell we find a high rate of glycolysis compared to a normal cells. It was Warburg, Otto Warburg, who observed this phenomenon, and he said that there is a high rate of glycolysis and the production of lactic acid in a cancer cell when compared with the normal cell due to the metabolic reprogramming. Now in cancer cells, what happens is in loss of there is a certain mutations which causes the loss of the control of this pathway. So once the loss of the control of this pathway occurs, that is here there is no suppression of the pathway. Always the cell gets a signal that there should be a high glycolytic rate. And in the presence of deletion of P53, P53 is very important to regulate the apoptosis process, cell division process, and cell senescence. So once, but this, if it is lost, the tumor suppressive gene P53 is lost, the capacity to decide whether the cell has to enter apoptosis or proliferation is lost. The cell always find a signal that it has to multiply, it has to continue its metabolic rate. Now what happened overall, there is a high rate of metabolism inside a cell. Now this high rate of metabolism causes a generation of high amount of reactive oxygen species or the reactive nitrogen species, which induces hypoxia situation, that is which induces hypoxia, because the amount of the rate of metabolism do not match the amount of oxygen supply, as well as the cells are dividing over there. So the oxygen supply to them becomes limited. So that also one reason is that there is a increase in hypoxia inducing factor. There is a signal, there is activation of a hypoxia inducing factor, which causes a high rate of glycolysis. So all these are interlinked. We have seen all these cycles are quite interlinked to each other. Now this is about how the regulation or how this is in a cancer cell take place, how it is getting altered from the normal cell. So these signals, that is a growth signal, or the hypoxia signal, or the loss of mTOR, or there is a KRAS, which is again oncogene. So mutations of these causes a loss of a control on the metabolic the process of a cell. Now here, once the control is lost, the cell knows it has to divide, so it reprograms or rewire its metabolic process to survive. This is how the cancer cells survive. They divide at higher rate. But all this, when it is happening, there is a but there is a loss of certain important the components, like there is a, like when the high rate of catabolism occurs. This high rate of catabolism occurs when there is a need of ATP. Now ATP on a cell decides or check which processes needs a high amount of ATP. Now one of them is a transport system, sodium potassium transport system. So in most of the cancer cells we see that sodium potassium transport system is lost. So this causes a cell to deviate its function from the normal cells. So this is about a brief discussion about metabolic reprogramming in cancer cell. Now we'll talk about oncometabolites. As I have said you earlier, the oncometabolites are, we can find there is an increase in concentration of one specific metabolite due to the loss of enzyme activity. So best example I have taken here is the loss of activity of citrate dehydrogenase. So once the isocitrate dehydrogenase. So once the isocitrate dehydrogenase activity is lost due to the mutation which is seen in the lung cancer, one of the best examples is the lung cancer and pancreatic cancer. So there is a deposition of a 2-hydroxyglutarate, which is a reduced form of alpha ketoglutarate. Now this is important, that is here it interferes with the certain the working of certain of the enzyme system like a pyruvyl hydroxylase, cytosine hydroxylase and histone demethylase. So now once what is happening, we can say is, once a mutation is occurring or the change is occurring in the any of the enzyme or regulator, the cell starts to manage itself to divide, but it is losing its important function, and once important function is lost, the whole cell starts to it starts to looking for a survival. In this case, we find there is a loss of some of the important functionality of the cell. One example I have given is sodium potassium transporters, loss of activity of sodium potassium transporters. So in this video, I have discussed briefly about the cancer metabolism, the metabolites, how it is functioning. So we'll continue the further in details in the next video. Thank you for watching. Do subscribe. Thank you.